is Devin with the Cage Rage Podcast. This is a CRP Minute. If you have not liked our YouTube page or found us on Facebook, please go and do so. Hit the like button, leave a comment. We're producing daily content covering the world of MMA and of boxing. And here's the report. Jose Aldo set for featherweight bout against Alex Volkanovski at UFC 237. So Jose Aldo, longtime featherweight king, who has made it very clear that he intends to retire after this year, doesn't want to fight in championship fights anymore, and only wants to fight in Brazil, will be returning to Brazil for UFC 237, and he's got a very tough, gritty fighter in front of him, a big young contender who could be the next face of this division, Alexander the Great Volkanovski. And if you haven't seen any film on Volkanovski, and that name doesn't really mean anything to you, I think you do need to go look him up. Very gritty, tough fighter, and he's definitely a big up-and-comer in this division. When we look at Aldo's on a 2-fight win streak, long-time champion dating back to November of 2005. After that loss he suffered in 2005, he's only lost 3 fights in all that time, fighting at the highest level of the sport. Almost a 9-10 year champion at featherweight. Only 3 losses in his prime. The 2 losses to current featherweight champion Max Holloway and the infamous 13-second knockout from Conor McGregor. He's come back and won 2 fights. Finished Jeremy Stephens in the first round, and just recently got a second-round stoppage of Renato Moicano. Alexander Volkanovski is 6-0 inside the UFC, 19-1, only 30 years old. Big up-and-comer, 6-0 in the UFC. Very gritty, tough fighter. When we look at this card was set to be headlined with a women's bantamweight title bout between Holly Holm and current champion Amanda Nunes, but apparently that's not happening now. Tapology right now has Namajunas and Andrade, which is going to be for the women's strawweight title, listed as the main event, but that hasn't been announced yet. So we'll see if they get a headliner on top of the Namajunas Andrade fight, which I think is a great fight. But you got Anderson Silva returning on this card against Jared Cannonier, and a good women's strawweight contender fight between Tatiana Suarez and Nina Ansaroff, and now obviously Aldo and Volkanovski, which will definitely, so far, besides maybe Namajunas and Andrade, is the fight that I'll be looking the most forward to. When we look at these rankings at featherweight, this division is wide open, and Max Holloway is moving up at UFC 236, the pay-per-view before this card, to challenge Dustin Poirier for the interim lightweight title. And it was inevitable that Holloway would be moving up, and the big question still is, they haven't announced is what's going to happen with the featherweight title fight, because this could have been a title fight between Aldo and Volkanovski if Holloway is indeed dropping it. And Aldo's planning on retiring. He's made that clear, but I figured that he would fight for the belt if it was offered. But Volkanovski with a win here would definitely catapult himself into the number 1 contender position. And if Holloway's gone, he could definitely be the next champion of this division. So this is a big fight. And UFC 237 is May 11th in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And we'll keep you posted. I still think they probably want a headliner for this card. But I think Namajunas and Andrade with a Volkanovski Aldo co-main event carries the card, in my opinion. I love that headline. I love that co-main headline. But great fight. Big featherweight fight with a lot at stake. So we'll keep you posted on any further updates.